Martinez, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my service learning, and you should listen to it because hopefully you can learn something from Arkansas Children's Hospital. That's where I did my service, and I'm credible in giving this speech because I personally went to Children's and did my service, and also I'm taking a speech class this semester, which has helped me apply some of the concepts that I will be giving in my speech. And why do you volunteer? Is it because you're required to do so, or because it comes from your heart to do some volunteering? I'm going to tell you a little bit about my service experience. So then I have told you a little bit about it. I'm going to start with my service story, then an analysis, and then some communication recommendations. And I did my service at Arkansas Children's Hospital, and according to their website, their mission is we champion children by making them better today and healthier tomorrow. And what I did was we were 4 volunteers the day I went. There were 2 sisters, and Julia and me. I was partnered with Julia, and we were in the playroom area. So what we did was set up the playroom area for the kids. Then we went to 3 different floors and brought the children that were able to come down to the playroom area. Or if not, we will offer them to bring them any toys that they might need. How my specific service work helped support the organization mission was by putting the kids first, making them feel better by offering many toys so they can entertain, and providing them comfort. Now that I have told you a little bit about my service, I'm going to talk about 2 communication concepts and a communication principles that I feel are connected to my service. The first one is message, and according to Lane, Abigail, and Gooch, message is the information a sender wishes to convey to a receiver. Both verbal and nonverbal communication are used to convey a meaning. And an example that illustrates this concept is that since I was going to the patient's rooms every time I entered the rooms, I had to wash my hands, and also when I came out. And also, if they were isolated, I had to wear a gown, gloves, and a mask. So I have to, sorry, that was remembering without my example. The example for the message is that I had to say my message in a clear way so they can remember. An example that illustrates this is that I had to say my name, that I was a volunteer from the playroom area, and offer any toys. And remembering, according to Lane, Abigail, and Gooch, is the memory that involves to store information and retrieve it when necessary. And an example from my service that illustrates this is that I had to remember to wash my hands before and after I came out and in, and also to wear the gown, gloves, and mask if they were isolated. An example that illustrates this, it's when I went to one of the kids' rooms, she didn't really catch that I was from the playroom area, so I had to remember to make it clear that they heard that I was from the playroom area. And a relevant communication principle, it's the meaning of the message is influenced by interpretations. And according to the UALR Foundational Communication Principle, it's communicators generate meaning, communicators are unique, therefore meaning is unique, and communicators generate interpretations. Communicators are unique, therefore interpretations are unique, and what I think I mean is unique to me and to me alone. And an example that illustrates this from my service is that since I was partnered with Julia, the other volunteer lady, we both had the same message, but we both interpreted with our own feelings. So an example that illustrates this principle is that each kid interpreted our message differently, but they now that I have talked about 2 communication principles and a communication concept, I will talk about how I can use the communication concept and a civical and ethical implication to improve my communications. And based on my survey experience, I can use communication concept and a civil and ethical implication to improve my communication and help improve my community. And the first one I had is that communication is an ongoing process. And according to Lane, Abigail, and Gooch, it's an ongoing process. It is not static. Also, communication occurs in distinct episodes with various individuals. It is difficult, even impossible, to determine when a communication begins or when it ends. And I choose this concept based on my survey experience because I was with Julia for 4 hours when I volunteered. And we didn't talk the whole time, but that didn't mean that our conversation ended. It was just a pause. We continued talking. And I can use this concept to improve my communication, but remember that even when you're not talking, that doesn't mean the communication has ended. And a civical and ethical implication I can use to improve my communication will be care with grace. And according to the civical and ethical implication of communication, it's understanding and meeting the needs of the people we interact with. And I choose this implication based on my survey experience because working with kids, they just need so much love and caring. And I can use this implication to improve my communication by telling other people that whenever you go to a hospital, you don't need to be all sad and depressed. The kids need to see you cheerful and happy. And now that I have talked about how I can use my communication concepts and civil and ethical implications to improve my communication, I'm going to wrap it up. So I have told you about my survey experience, the communication analysis, and some recommendations. And lastly, I will leave you with this. If you would like to I would like for you to take your time to consider to volunteer at children's or any other organizations, because even the smallest helps makes a big difference.